You are listening to And That's Okay, the podcast devoted to encouraging you to live in your truth in a society where reality is not what's socially popular. This is a platform where you could be a novice about anything and feel comfortable about it. Let's have the conversations we all wish we had years ago and want to hear more of. Nothing is off limits and there is no shame or judgment here. Join me as I navigate life, marriage, friendships, finances, career, and whatever else life throws at me. Listen, doing all this self-work is bound to piss a few people off, and that's okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Angelique. Let's get into it. When I was younger, adults used to tell me, you are who you surround yourself with, and you're going to do what your friends do, and don't be doing what your friends be doing, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, listen, don't tell them I said this. But they were right, because your environment is everything. What you surround yourself with, who you surround yourself with, plays a lot in your daily habits, what you go through, how you feel, your energy, just everything. And it's just like one of those, in order to create the environment, you have to pay attention to your surroundings so that you're able to thrive. Because if you're around people who are not doing nothing with themselves, 9 out of 10, you're probably not going to be doing nothing with yourself. And it's like, take the time to evaluate your day-to-day surroundings. And I mean what your work environment looks like, your home environment looks like, even your friends, and pay attention to the habits that you subconsciously picked up. Now, it will take some time to realize this because it's self-awareness, and you might not pick up on it until you're actually aware and notice what's going on. But it would shock you, because in my home environment, I picked up a few of my husband's habits, and I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? Where did this come from? And then I'll catch him doing it, and I'll be like, oh. And I'm sure he's picked up some of my habits as well. It just goes to solidify that statement of you are what you surround yourself with. You really can't do nothing about it but change the environment, or think of it in a different way where it better serves you. And it's definitely going to take some self-awareness to be able to change it. In order to change it, you'll need help, or you need to understand that you have to identify the core, where everything stems from, who it stems from, or what, causes you to feel this way, act this way, do these things, have these habits. But it's ultimately we all want to create an environment where we can thrive in, where we can be our best. It's just if you want to compare us to plants. Plants thrive when they're in their best, where it's nice, and some of them are nice and sunny, the temperature's right, and you water them just enough but not too much, and they just be blooming, feeling good, happy, loving. And to me, I feel like humans are the same way, whereas though when we're in a place of love, when we're eating good and we're taking care of ourselves and the stress is down low, everything just seems like it's going well, that we can thrive and we look our best. The skin's glowing, we got the weight off, we look happy, we act different, the way we deal with people is so different. And I think that all comes from having a nice environment where you can thrive. And sometimes with that, you have to definitely pick and choose. And sometimes it may not be as easy as it sounds. It may not be as easy as it sounds. Because what you're trying to do when creating this environment is understanding what's your bad habits and trying to kick these bad habits. And usually the bad habits stems from your environment. You done picked up something you didn't realize you picked up on. Or someone else was doing something and you just wanted to be cool, or just thought that you were supposed to do this. Not realizing that it's really not your thing, but just to be a part of the crowd, you decided to do it. And then it's like you also have to understand that it's going to take time to change this environment. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next week. It's going to take some time, and you have to give yourself grace to do it as well. For myself, I made a goal this year to read one book a month. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why I said that, because going from maybe 2 books a year to 12 books is overwhelming to me. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I'm sitting there like, a book a month? Like, girl, be realistic. So I'm going to narrow it down to about 4 to 6 books this year. Either I could try to read 1 book quarterly, or I could read 1 book every 2 months, which seems so much more doable for myself and me being realistic. 12 books a year, I was overdoing it. I was being too ambitious. Like, yeah, I got all these books that I ain't read yet. How many books I got? Oh, it's like 12 books. All right, I'm going to do a book a month and knock them out. And it's just like, girl, take your time, read the book, allow it to resonate, allow you to absorb what you're reading and understand it, and then move on to the next book. But then also realize that life happens. So you're not going to may not have the time to do a book a month, depending on how life goes for you. So, like, trust me, we're being realistic this year. I'm not biting off too much more than I can chew. I'm trying to change my environment, make it better, make it something where I can thrive in. And I like reading. I used to love reading when I was younger. And as you get older, you get an adult, you usually don't have the time for it. So I'm trying to make time for it now and just do it at a pace that works well for me. Like, I have books. I've had people that have bought me books. I've bought myself books. And I really want to get into reading a little more, to get out of my phone, to have some quiet time, to escape to somewhere else. Like, let me just escape to my book, just to relax my brain from having to think so much. Like, it's just so much behind why I'm doing this, and we could talk about that another day. But the first book that I started off reading this year was Atomic Habits. And I'm reading this book to find a different perspective on habit forming. And so far, it's been very easy to understand. And I feel like it's things I've heard before, but it's explained a little differently. And sometimes you have to hear things a few times before it hits home. Now, I know I'm not the only one that sometimes somebody could say something once to me and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I hear you. And then it's just like, whatever. And then someone else say something to you again and you like, well, I heard that before. Okay. And then the third person, fourth, fifth, whatever person to say it, and then you be like, yo, like, I really get it now. Like, I thought I heard it, but like, I get it now. And it's crazy how that sometimes it takes us to go through those things to really realize how something may hit different. And for me, I feel like that comes from where you are in life. Whereas though at the time, the first time I heard it, it may not have resonated with me the way it did the third time I heard it, because I was in a different space in my life. And I feel like that's what it is for a lot of people, that like, yeah, I hear you, but I'm just not there yet. And then when they get there, they be like, yo, remember when you said blah, 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 blah. And you be like, dang, that was like so long ago. But it just took for them to reach that point in their life where they're like, okay, this is something that I can apply now. And that's the same thing with this Atomic Habits book. For me, it's like, okay, I've heard this and I understand this. Like, it is your environment. Like, you have to make like these habits attractive, and it's all brain work. Once you get control of your brain and rewire your brain, like, you can do so much. And you have to make these habits basically like fun and make them easy, and do it more for the long term rather than the short goal. Because sometimes when you do a goal, once you reach it, then it's like you're done, rather than making it like a lifestyle where there's no end date to this new habit that you're trying to form. And it's understanding all of that and how things goes. And it's just like, wow, okay, I get it now. Now I'm at a point in my life where I want to create new habits, where I want to do things differently than I've done in the last 30 something years of my life. And I'm working hard to undo some bad habits that I have developed, and then trying to rearrange my life so that I'm more in control. And it takes a lot of discipline. It is going to take a lot of repetition. It's going to take probably a lot of failures for me to really get the grasp of things. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I'm okay with being uncomfortable. And if this is what it takes to give me the life that I want, then let me strap up the gloves. Let me put the Vaseline on my face, because it's about to go down. Like I'm just so serious. Like, I want to do life so different. And I also want to create an environment where I can thrive and where I can move at my own pace. And for a lot of people, that may seem out of the norm. And I'm a girl that easily likes to go against the grain. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I just really want to do what works for me. And I don't care if nobody else understands it, because at the end of the day, it's about me. And I want for people to do the same for themselves. Like, do things that work for you. Even if it is uncomfortable, some of the best blessings is in the realm of being uncomfortable, because you're stretching yourself. You don't know what you can do until you do it. And it's like, I want y'all, if you want to, but I would love for y'all to create environments where you thrive in. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing people in their element and their passion. And when they just sit there and they be so happy about what they're doing, and they can tell you, and it's just, and you just feel it. Like, I'm a girl that likes to feel when other people just express themselves, and I could just feel it. Like, gives me goosebumps. And I be wanting that for everybody, but I know I can't give it to anybody, so I'm gonna just do it for myself. But if you're out there and you're listening, definitely create an environment for yourself. Make it so that you can thrive, and make it yours. It doesn't have to be anybody else's, and nobody else has to understand. What I am going to say is that probably the hardest part of it will be like the discipline. Not even going to be lie, it's very hard to be disciplined, because it's definitely a behavioral change. And when you're used to doing things a certain way, it's very hard to change it. But if you work hard at it, I feel like the reward will be worth it. Definitely worth it. And as time goes on, I feel like it could possibly get a little easier. And then it's like also having the repetition to rewire your brain to no longer recognize that cue for the bad habit. Now, with every bad habit, there stems a start. Like, something triggers in your brain for you to keep doing this bad habit. And to undo that, because that is the norm and what you're used to, is going to take a lot of work. But you can do it. We're going to do this together. Like, we're going to do this together, because nothing matters like a community that's on the same path as you, that's trying to be better, that's trying to grow, and just want to change their lives. I've lived a life for so long of just doing it how I thought it was supposed to be done. And now I just really want to do it the way I want to do it. I want to be 100% in control, 100% the main character, the CEO, how you want to look at it. I want to be top and really have the control that I want. Because I want to be happy, and happiness starts with me. So in order for me to be happy, I have to make the necessary changes and create the environment that makes me happy and that allows me to thrive. And it definitely takes boldness to remove yourself from environments that no longer allow you to thrive, because whatever it is, it may seem odd to other people. It may seem like, why are you doing that? Wait, what? You doing what? Are you crazy? Like, what? Huh? What? It's so many questions of people who will be scared to do what you're doing because it's so bold, but deep down inside, they wish they can do what you're trying to do. But a lot of people won't admit it. Some people will, some people won't. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you want. And I would forever preach that it's all about what you want and what you need. But creating an environment that allows you to thrive, I feel like is top tier moving forward. Whatever that looks like for you. Not what society puts out there, not what social media puts out there, not what your mom think, what your dad think, what your friends think. What do you think your environment should look like where you thrive? Take the time and think about that. If you're okay where you at, you're okay with where you're at. There's no pressure to change. You can stay the same. It is absolutely 100% up to you. But don't sit there and when other people are changing and you're just like, what? People are doing it. Doesn't mean you have to either. You can do what you want. But just be secure in your decision and make sure that's the decision that makes you happy. Is key. Like, be happy in that decision. Definitely be happy. I'm not one to tell you to do what everybody else doing. Nope. As I said earlier, I'm the type of girl that likes to go against the grain. I really don't like to do what everybody else is doing. I really don't like to be told what to do. That's just my personality. But for you, whatever works for you and whatever is best for you, I'll definitely say go for it. Try it out. As I always preach, take small steps. Take little itty bitty baby steps. Create the habits that you want to create. Break the bad habits that you would like to break. And here's a prime example of a habit. So I have a skincare routine, right? I do it in the morning. Pretty consistent with the morning. At night, you're gonna need a little bit of work or something at night. Skincare routine or whatever. I ain't always there. Sometimes I might skip it, I'm human. I'm human. I'm not even going to sit there and just try and play like I'm not. But I was around of my close friends and, we did a nice little night in the city, stayed at a hotel, and at night everybody else was washing their face and makeup off. And to me, it didn't really click in my brain to do so. I'm just like, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. But it was like seeing them do it. It sparked that brain like, oh, let me go, take the time to do mine as well, because everyone else was doing it. And it was like it was a habit I wanted to create. So why not have that support of my girlfriends taking care of their makeup, washing their makeup off their face for me to jump in and do mine as well. It was a prime example of having people that do the habits that you want. They already do the habits. For them, it was no brainer. They jumped, wash the face, blah, blah. And I was just sitting there like, oh, okay. Like me, I'm a girl that be like, I go to sleep. I don't do a full face of makeup, but I might have the brows on fleek and I'll be tired and I'll just go to sleep in it. I'm not the only one that does this. I'm not afraid to admit it. Everybody has done it once in a while. But it was just for me to be in that moment and for me to realize that this support was happening. Let me join in. I wasn't doing it because everybody else was doing it. It was one of those that like, oh, I really want to get into this habit. Why not do it with the fun of my other girlfriends doing it as well? And we're sitting here having a girls' night and washing makeup. We're laughing, we're joking. And it's just so effortlessly being done. And I was just like, okay, this is what I want to do moving forward. This is a type of environment, type of people I want to be around that has these habits that I want to incorporate into my life. And that too is something that you have to recognize with the people that are around you. Are they doing the same things that you want to do? A lot of people talk about like, surround yourself with people who are doing better than you or at the place of where you want to be, which is so true because it gives you that motivation to see someone already doing it, to say, hey, I can do this too. And that is just so important, I feel like, because sometimes you need that visual to see someone else just to spark it in your brain to just keep going. Because when you're doing it by yourself and you're working very hard, sometimes it gets a little lonely. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know if I really can do this, if I'm really cut out. But if you have someone that you see doing it and that has already done it, then you're like, okay, I can do this. I can get there. I can keep going and I can keep pushing. Oh, like this is just something where I probably could talk forever and ever about, but I don't even want to hold y'all forever because it's just like such a conversation that can be done It's a conversation that we can have, and it's something where it's just so important to just have the positivity in your life so that you can keep pushing and keep looking forward to things. And it's like, it's okay to have friends on your level, and it's okay to have friends that are above you so that you can aspire to be better. That's how you get out your comfort zone. That's how you that's how you grow. It's all about like creating an environment that allows you to thrive. Like, I want all of us to thrive moving forward, whatever that is, whatever that you like, thrive in it, whatever it is. Mom, friend, sister, business owner, 9-to-5 hottie, whatever it is, I want you to create that environment that you thrive in. Whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel like I'm that girl, I'm that dude, whatever it is, I want you to create that moving forward. Trust me, I'm right here and I'm rooting for you. I'm in the corner because I know you can do it. You got this. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you walked away with some valuable information. Make sure to follow the podcast on IG at And That's Okay Podcast. You can connect with me directly on there. Looking forward to the next episode. Remember to spread love, kindness, and make the choices that bring you peace.